Welcome back to another episode of Britt and Nick Do the News. This episode is our Mother's Day special. That's right. At the very end of the show, we have our mothers calling in and answering a couple of our questions and telling a couple good stories about us as kids. So stay tuned to the end. But to kick it off, the biggest highlights of the week, the new Pope has been selected.
It is true, you guys. You see black smoke, it means it's a no. You see white smoke, and it means there's a pope. It's true. Yes, the Cardinals in Vatican City have just today made their selection for the next pope after the passing of the dearly beloved Pope Francis. The first ballot on Wednesday was deemed inconclusive after 3 arduous hours. Thursday morning kept bystanders waiting again as black smoke billowed out of the Sistine Chapel, alerting all that the elect had still not been decided. There seems to be a general consensus that these voting rounds are taking more time than expected, as Pope Francis, known as more progressive pope, had these men divided, with some taking more of a liberal stance akin to Francis, while others leaning towards a more conservative alignment. Well, Thursday afternoon, viewers saw white smoke indicating that a choice had been made. It has been decided that Pope Leo XIV, XIV, will be the newest in this special role. This is the very first time that an American has been named Pope. Pope Leo, age 69, hails from Chicago, and I can't help but thinking that maybe Nick and I spread some spirited blessings over the city since we were recently there. Probably not at all, but it's still a fun thought.
133 cardinals gathered Wednesday for the start of the 2025 Papal Conclave in the Vatican Sistine Chapel. Some conclaves have lasted for years, like the one in 1268, which went on for nearly 3 years. So long that the people grew angry and locked them in and removed the roof just for them to make a decision. This one, like the last 3, only lasted a few days, though. The cardinals vote 4 times a day, 2 in the morning and 2 at night, until 2/3 of the leaders have agreed on the Pope. It was rumored that Cardinal Pietro Parolin was the top contender prior to this decision, which worried some since the prophecy I mentioned in the last episode named Peter as the final pope before the end of days, which Pietro is Italian for Peter. Did you bet on who the next pope would be? Well, Kalshi, the betting platform where you can bet on real life events, had a better win more than $52,000 when he selected the correct pope.
What a way to make a buck, but I wouldn't even know who the options were, so they definitely had to do their research. So the Lord bless them this time.
Earlier in the week, it was Cinco de Mayo and also the big gathering at the MET Gala. If you don't know, it is an annual charity event and fundraiser for the Costume Institute at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. It started in 1948 by Eleanor Lambert, and it's considered the party of the year. Anna Wintour, Vogue's editor-in-chief, now oversees the event and has great influence on transitioning this to a major fashion event. This year's theme, super fine tailoring black style, encouraging guests to interpret menswear and tailoring in their own unique way, which had to focus on black dandyism. Now, Britt, this is your type of event. You're very into fashion and just showing off in front of the camera, but I don't think you were that impressed, and neither was I. I think if I had to pick a favorite, it would be Halle Berry. The short black sport coat that blended seamlessly into a ball-length gown alternated with black and see-through nude vertical strips showing off her amazing figure. And I liked how it was more feminine. A lot of these outfits looked like whacked-out suits, and I just wasn't a fan.
Yeah, girl, I gotta give her body credit, and also certain parts of her body. I could see the outline and literally like the outer lines of her cooch. So good for her, but also, I don't know. I really am not digging all the reveals of body parts recently. And, to be honest, I'm going to give you a rundown. Giving a salute to the late and great Joan Rivers, I will be trying my judgy hand at joning on some of the attendees of the Met Gala 2025. This year was a sight for sore eyes as the outfits, rather costumes, were giving remaining dregs on the walls of Spirit Halloween leftovers as opposed to true quality and high fashion. Let's start out with Future. His future didn't appear so bright as his hair was giving Bozo the Clown and his footwear appeared like a bad case of gout. Poor guy. I hope his suffering feet heal very soon. As far as my eyes, well, they will have to recover after I stop looking at this mess that is quote unquote couture. How about Gayle King? Actually, what about her? She tried to seem relevant in that failed space expedition where she attempted to drum up gusto for young ladies to get into the STEM fields. But all she did was drum up our disdain for her and, quite frankly, her unrelatability. Icky. I suppose she was still gunning for the younger generation crowd appeal, as she looked kind of like a failed student in Clueless as a crappy extra. If Oprah approved it, she still hates you, girl. Wow, poor Pam Anderson. They give her so much crap about her eyebrows, and not even eyebrows, more like werebrows. But y'all leave her alone. She's fair haired. There's nothing she could do about it. I don't know about that outfit, though. We can't let her catch a break on those botched bangs, which remind me of the previous Die Antwoord frontwoman, Yolandi Visser, and her constant need to appear as the random wild child, when in actuality, she's a talentless goofball. Pammy put me in mind of the Russian stacking dolls with her awkward haircut and even more awkward dress, with the skirt, which could rival Cinderella, cute, but a top that not even Liberace of late would slap on. Zendaya, shoot, though she is beautiful, her outfit was a swing and a miss. Girly Pop looked like she was getting fashion tips and bum advice from the First Lady of the U.S. with that hat that she featured. It appeared that it was a lesson on how to stop your man from kissing you in 10 seconds. Ugh. Zendaya wasn't the only one with a hat faux pas. There were several ladies who followed suit and looked equally as unpleasant and definitely not cute. Kimmy K and Mary J pulled out some caps that should have definitely been put back in the back of the closet. Though Mary has talent to lean on and Kim doesn't, it still isn't an excuse for either one to show up like that. Bad moves. While I'm dogging hats, I can't forget about the continuously mystifying Whoopi Goldberg and her top hat selection. Homegirl put me in mind of the Mad Hatter, except where she just straight up drinks the mercury instead of using it to mold fugly looking hats. Sabrina Carpenter, please, please, please fire your stylist. No, for real. I couldn't tell if she was trying to imitate Gunther of the WWE, aka Walter Hahn from Austria, or if she was attempting to mimic a racier version of Willy Wonka. Johnny Depp's portrayal, that is. Either way, she needed to be in the ring or in a house of sugar, because this look was not red carpet worthy. Lisa Rinna and Harry Hamlin's daughter, Amelia Gray, was looking like a botched version of Mrs. Claus Goes Hood Rat. Plus, she was so busy, I guess, getting gifts in the sleigh, she forgot to put her pants on. Her durag was dragging on the ground, as well as her pride, it would seem. I know that I won't be on the good list this year because of all these rude and kind of judgy comments I've been making, but they had to be said, and best believe I wasn't the only one that said them.
Thanks for that breakdown, Brittany, of the Met Gala. What other celebrity news do you got for us?
Fortunately, depending on who you are, I have a lot. The latest potentially new couple on the scene is Tom Cruise and Ana de Armas. I say new, but only one of them is actually newer to this earth, as Ana is 37 and Tom, well, he's 62. I'm not one to look twice usually at an age gap relationship, especially since Ana isn't too far away from 40 years old herself. But Tom could certainly be her father, with their age distance being 25 years. Though, truth be told, Tommy Boy does all of his own stunts and doesn't traditionally ever use a body double for the tough stuff. So maybe we can assume that he can accomplish other things with that boomer bod of his. Who knows? Maybe Anna will let us know one day. Elizabeth Hurley and my achy breaky heart singer, as well as heartbreaker himself, Billy Ray Cyrus, are another unexpected couple. Poor Liz has never really been able to pick a good fellow, and it would seem that this case is no exception. I feel like others have tried to tell her, but just don't think she'd understand. Though she apparently has stated that she knew that they would reconnect again after a meeting on the set of the movie Christmas in Paradise back in 2022. I had to look up this film since I've never ever heard of it. But I also had to do an internet search of which shade of Just for Men Bilbo is using, because his beard looked darker than coal and his braids were giving Heidi, but with the side of meth lab. Since we are speaking on new couples, Let us shift over to the longer standing couples, or perhaps no longer standing together couples. Megan Fox was noticeably missing from her baby daddy MGK's birthday celebration in late April, though his daughter from a previous relationship made the scene. Megan and Machine were recently spotted at the overpriced and awkward AF grocery outlet Erewhon just a few days ago. Apparently, these two are on the rocks since, well, always, but seemingly more so since the birth of their baby girl in March 2025. They had even canceled their engagement party in December of 2024, but have publicly spoken about being good co-parents for their newest addition. Kind of hard to believe since I'm not positive they're great parents to start with. But honestly, I'm an outsider looking in, so I can't particularly judge. To shift from no bueno to que bueno, let's talk about the sweet Danny Lynn Burkhead, who was spotted with her doting dad as she donned the beautiful dress that her late mother, Anna Nicole Smith, wore back in 2004 to the exact same event, the Kentucky Pre-Derby Gala. Danny Lynn looked elegant and smiled wide as she could as she was quoted saying, "This is the closest I'll ever be to getting a hug from her." Aww. Though Larry and Danny Lynn have largely remained out of the public eye, they attend the Derby and its events every year since 2010, when the shared daughter of Larry Burkhead and Anna Nicole was just 3 years of age. Aw, so precious. Danny Lynn wasn't even a full year old when her dear mother passed away at 39 years.
All right. Well, let's jump in there with a little bit of Gen Z news, Brittany. I hear that the generation is drinking less, partying less, and probably staying home more. It sounds like everything adds up to that. You have a little bit of information for us?
It's true. It's true. Generation Z catches a whole bunch of heat for being zany, lazy, and just plain crazy. But let one thing be known. They are confident in who they are and they aren't apologizing for it. Despite having a phone glued to their one hand and a jewel being glued to the other, there's one noticeable item missing from their palms. The missing item being a cup of booze. These youngsters aren't falling for the advertisements of old, and they are moving forward in a sober and confident way. So much so that they claim that their reasoning for not chugging alcohol is not necessarily due to money issues or health concerns, but rather is the desire to live life completely aware and without any blinders on. Apparently, a poll from Gallup back in 2023 shows that over the past 2 decades, there has been a 10-point drop in the number of adults under the age of 35 who drink at all. With each passing generation, the population drinks less and less. Gen Z drinking less than millennials, and millennials drinking less than Gen X, though Generation X has a higher consumption rate than baby boomers. Both groups still consume much more than their younger counterparts. Poor Gen X, what have they been through, man? Mental health has also become a huge focus for these young adults that, paired with the fact that they spend much less time with one another as groups predecessing them, we know that COVID had a large hand in the dwindling of one-on-one social time, so they believe that's part and parcel of why this crew drinks much less.
They may have quit drinking, but they definitely haven't stopped sucking on those multi-flavored vapes. Popcorn lung is on the rise due to vape usage. The disease damages the airways in the lungs, leading to coughing, shortness of breath, and wheezing. The term popcorn lung originated when microwave popcorn factory workers were exposed to the chemical diacetyl used in the buttery flavors. Now, they banned it in some products, but studies found that some e-cigarettes and vape liquids contain it. Unlike some lung issues, popcorn lung is irreversible and has no known cure. So be careful, kids. Another fact about Gen Zs, they're getting fired significantly higher than any other generation due to poor communication and lack of professionalism. In airplane news, the Real ID compliant license is now required for all U.S. travelers to travel domestically. Of course, there are other accepted forms of identification like a passport, but if you show up at the airport without a Real ID, you may face delays, additional screening, or denied access to the security checkpoint. Highlight in air news for the week, though, a Japanese airport sets a new record by going 30 years without losing any luggage. truly remarkable milestone for Kansai International Airport in Osaka, Japan. Also, if you fly into Japan, I read that Tuesday, the visa branch of the U.S. Embassy in Tokyo posted that those applying for non-immigrant visas for the states will have to disclose their social media accounts they have used within the past 5 years.
Dang, talk about some track back. I mean, wow, that's a little invasive, but at the same time, if you were just posted selfies and pictures of you with some camels at the zoo, I don't think it's probably that big of a deal. It's probably if you were on there like spewing hatred or like race-based bull crap or any of that type of thing.
Probably more terroristic threats. I think that's what they're looking out for. A bit of unique hospital mentions. I read that American hospitals charge $700 for a bag of saline solution and $250 for Band-Aids. Items that cost a little less, like 2 cents to $3 to make. A lot less, if you ask me. The markup is due to administrative overhead and a whacked out pricing system. The biggest culprit, I'm sure, is insurance negotiations and the lack of transparency where the patients have no idea that they're paying these types of prices since insurance handles it. The US, unlike any other countries, are allowed to mark up their rates, which obviously get inflated. Meanwhile, we have China, who has opened the world's first AI-powered hospital. It has 14 AI doctors and 4 AI nurses and is capable of treating 3,000 patients in a simulated environment.
AI, whatever. I mean, it is what it is, right? Like, it's coming. It doesn't matter if you like it or not. But $250 for a Band-Aid, those mother truckers ought be ashamed. You will absolutely rot in the pits of hell. $700 for a bag of saline. GTF all the way. Oh, sickening behavior.
Now that the warmer months are coming, Brittany, everyone is gathering on the beaches, and there was something gathering in the water in North Carolina.
You're not wrong, Nick. Spoken of as a once-in-a-lifetime experience, a humpback whale was spotted off the coast of North Carolina, and it was magical. Kim Jones, who is the Dean of Arts and Sciences at Brunswick Community College, said that this was the first whale she has recorded in the area since April of 2021. This particular whale remained in the area as it was learned that it was living alongside many bottlenose dolphins. Oh my gosh, I love them little cuties. And a school of menhaden, which are smaller silvery fish who are a major food source for sea animals. This humpback whale was spotted as researchers were conducting a dolphin survey off the coast near Bald Head Island, one of my favorite vacation spots, near the mouth of the Cape Fear River, which also happens to run straight through my current residential town.
Well, it's not just the whales that are gathering. With the heat brings the crowds, and of course they go to the beach, and mischief ensues. Early last week, there was a mass shooting in Myrtle Beach where 11 were wounded and 1 was killed. The shooting occurred near Ripley's Believe It or Not, right off the beach close to midnight.
Oh my God. Myrtle Beach, I feel bad, but they always get such a bad rap for being trash. And news reports like this kind of semi-confirm it. But don't you guys worry. We'll probably still make an appearance on the shore down there just because why not?
Well, we love Myrtle Beach. We went there 2 years ago around Cinco de Mayo for Brittany's bachelorette. And we still go back to that time and wish we were there. Morgan Wallen is releasing a new song this Friday, May 9th, for his son called Superman. Also dropping the week following is his newest album, I'm the Problem, on May 16th, which I am so excited about. The track list was released secretly on SNL on one of the stage TVs. 37 songs, which is a lot. One is even rumored to be with Tate McRae, who is not a country singer, but had everyone gossiping since he's never had a female feature on any of his tracks.
Everyone's falling for Wallen, and you know what? He's dropping albums like he's dropping them chairs out the sky. God bless his ass.
Well, let's jump over to movie news. We decided to dabble in some of the new releases, and the one that got the most hype recently was Sinners. And Brittany, I think you have a review for us.
Last Sunday, my husband and I went to check out Sinners, and may I just say, we were impressed. I believe he gave it a 7 out of 10, which is pretty dang high for him. He's he's rather picky about his films. But I loved it. I loved the cinematography of it all. The dances, the music was extra spectacular. And I really enjoyed the historical portion. Like, I love seeing the old school clothes and just getting the old school vibe. It took place in the Deep South, and it took place during the year of 1932, which my late and great G-Paw Gene was born in. So very, very cool. And honestly, my G-Paw is from Washington, D.C., and he grew up on a dirt road in D.C. proper, where they still have more horse-drawn carriages than they do cars, which you'll get to see that in this film. You'll see cars, but you'll also see a whole lot of historical value. I mean, you guys should check it out for yourselves, but it was not necessarily how I envisioned it to be. Lots of thrills, lots of chills, a lot of dirtiness, like a little bit of rambunctious type of ooh-wee. But yeah, so maybe if you're on the younger side, wait until you see it until you're older. But I want to say I give it an 8.5 or a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed it, and it was really cool to see something in the theater again.
Well, I'm glad you got to see it on the silver screen. I was at home catching a couple flicks on my couch. I watched Another Simple Favor with Anna Kendrick and infamous Blake Lively. I think the only thing I liked about this movie was Blake and her outfit choices, which is sad because she's really not favorable at the moment. The storyline was trash, and the intro of new characters was not favorable with their plot twists. I also watched Wolfman, which is exclusively on Peacock. It was also one I would not recommend. I think I watched it for Julia Garner's performance. I think she chose this role to see if she can nail playing being terrified and convincing of it. Things you should catch: the series ender of The Righteous Gemstones. I love Danny McBride, and this is yet another one of his amazing series. Millennials, though, this one's for you. Practical Magic 2 is rumored to come out September 18th, 2026. Long overdue. Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman have stood the test of time and are still being booked for top dollar. Practical Magic first came out in 1998 when actress Sandra Bullock was 34 and Nicole Kidman was 31. The story is about two sisters that live as modern-day witches who created a spell that would never have them fall in love. You can catch the original movie on Max. Another millennial alert: Final Destination Bloodlines is coming out May 16th. Originally out in 2000, Britt and I have been there since the first one, and they are now on their 6th installment. 13 Ghosts is also coming back as a series. This one was my brother's favorite horror, starring Shannon Elizabeth and Matthew Lillard. What I really need to do is catch up on the newest season of You. And then Poker Face premiered on Peacock with season 2. I highly recommend it, with Natasha Lyonne, who plays a casino worker turned a default crime solver when she entangles herself into a web of mysterious death, who also has a newfound gift of being able to tell when people tell a lie.
I love her. She is so good. I swear, everything that she is in is pretty much gold to me. I loved her in Orange is the New Black, and definitely really loved her in my personal debut of her, which was The Slums of Beverly Hills. That will really touch the heart for me. So I don't know, but cannot wait for Practical Magic. OMG, we deserve this. Like I've been saying, the millennials have been sitting on the remote ready to press play. So here we go. We're getting it. 13 Ghosts, another great one. So yeah, we're getting all the love that we deserve, finally.
Let's move it over to food releases. And for this one, I'm going to go over a couple of trends that I personally tried this weekend. The Taco Bell chicken nuggets. Well, I can tell you they're delicious. And dipping them in that nacho cheese, you will never dip your nugget in a ketchup ever again. It was delicious, especially their fries. I cannot help but say that they are one of the best fries out there in the fast food industry. I also tried Domino's stuffed crust pizza, which they were able to nail, but I prefer more pizza than crust. The crust was overwhelming, to say the least. I also jumped on that lavender train and tried Starbucks' lavender oat milk latte. And as soon as I tasted it, I wondered, why did I get this in the first place? It's just too herby, and you don't expect the flavor at all. It was interesting. It's worth a try, but I wouldn't get a second one.
Did it remind you of a cup of oregano, perhaps?
Oh, girl, stay tuned for the rest of that story. Two new items that caught my eye. Pop-Tart is coming out with ice cream sandwiches. That's right. I'm sure it's worth the calories, right? Ugh, so delicious. And then also, I saw that Cheez-It is releasing frozen pizzas. They're going to come in 3 different styles: Italian 4-cheese, pepper jack, and cheddar jack Supreme. We've got to try at least one of these, Brittany.
It is indeed a must. Oh my gosh. Like, that sounds so amazing. I love Cheez-Its and I love frozen pizza. So you put them together and we're making miracles happen here. So I can't wait to try. As soon as I see it, I'm making that purchase and I best believe eating all of that pie.
Yum. Now, before we transition into our next segment where we interview our mothers, Brittany, you went out last night to a comedy show and I want to hear more about that.
Girl, I definitely did. So me, Matt, Grace, and Chris, we headed up to Raleigh to Charlie Goodnight's and we saw the new and upcoming Cam Patterson. Now, I don't know if you guys know him off of Kill Tony, but he is freaking hilarious. I read a few comments on Reddit, but I mean, can you really trust Reddit? That he's a bit repetitive in the stuff he talks about, but I was simply rolling. I found him to be hilarious, super relevant, had a little bit of crowd work working, and also the 3 guys that went out before him were also super, super hilarious. I mean, everything he said met every expectation I had. Far exceeded it, to be honest. And I hadn't been to a comedy show in a hot minute. Boy, howdy, am I so glad that I went to see him. Also, apparently, this Friday at the Lenovo Center in Raleigh, North Carolina, our all-time favorite, Shane Gillis, is performing. Unfortunately, I won't be there. I'll be up in FDK MD. But if anyone else is in the area, oh my gosh, my fingers are crossed that you guys are going to make that show, because that's another hilarious comedian. But yes, Cam, I met him. Me and Grace met him at the meet and greet. He was super chill, down to earth. And honestly, I posted a story and he liked it. So I still love that he's up and coming and engaging with fans. That is super important. And that's what we're trying to do with you guys too. Engagement is important. So hit us up and we'll hit you right back.
That's right. Brittany's coming up to Frederick for Mother's Day weekend, and that's a great segue to the interview with our mothers. For the first time ever, first guest, we have Donna, my mother. Welcome to the show, Donna.
Well, thank you for having me.
I know you are an avid fan. You're always tuning in, and we appreciate you listening. So I figure, we go over some stories maybe from my youth and how much fun it was raising me as a child.
It was an adventure. And I don't care what anybody says, when your baby is born, and Nicole being the oldest and the rough draft, the personality is there from the very beginning.
What was special about me? Do you have any fond stories or memories that you can still think about to this day that just randomly cross your mind?
The stories that I remember, if you wanted something, I don't care what kind of goal it was, you just went after it. From the time you could barely crawl, if you saw a toy across the room, you would just roll to get there. Or when you're a little bit older, you had your mind that you wanted pancakes that morning. And I said, well, Nicole, we don't have enough eggs for pancakes this morning. We'll have to have another breakfast. And I'll be working around the kitchen, getting some other things to eat. And here you are with eggs in your hand. I go, Nicole, where'd you get the eggs? From our next door neighbor, because I really wanted the pancakes.
Definitely remember that story. And to me, it was just, you had neighbors for a reason. And if you were missing a cup of sugar, you went to the neighbor's house to get it. So why would I not go there to get 2 eggs to make my pancakes?
You also went on a separate occasion to get that cup of sugar, too.
Hey, whatever it takes. Some memories as a child that I had of my mother that I think are pretty unique to her. I just remember she works in the medical field. And back in the day, I don't know if this was a thing, but she had a lot of wooden clogs. Instead of trying on my mom's high heels, I was running around in these heavy clogs. Another memory I have is of X-Files. We were always watching X-Files with you, or I knew you had Star Trek on, or you introduced me to Star Wars. So, I mean, I'm very grateful that you introduced that to my life because I probably would have never dabbled in that to begin with.
Well, I have to just interject that at a certain age, I didn't think X-Files was appropriate. So I would put something else on in the other room and I would enjoy my freaky X-Files. But we did watch Are You Afraid of the Dark on Saturday nights. That's how you were indoctrinated with spooky stories.
Yes, my mom was passing the torch from her father. I think he had you guys watching Night of the Living Dead. I mean, your sister was like 3 years old, and I think she's still traumatized to this day.
She was all of 8. She was all of 8.
Oh, okay. My apologies.
It was The Outer Limits and Alfred Hitchcock Presents.
Oh, I got you. Oh, Twilight Zone. We can't forget that. I'm sure you guys watched that back in your day.
Yeah, Twilight Zone.
Yes.
Lots of sci-fi. Very cool.
Yeah, that's how my dad rolled.
Another thing I can't forget is that my mom aspired at a very young age to be a ballerina. So the stories of that just really, sank in with me. And the fact that she took a tumble down the stairs and hurt her knee and that career was over before she started. I still think about that because it is impressive going up to New York School of Ballet at the age of 14. That's something that not everybody does.
Wow.
Yeah, it was brave of my mom and dad to let me, but I was a really good kid. And, going to American Ballet Theater School and Joffrey School, definitely I had to be independent and mature, but I was very, very focused, just like my daughter.
Aww.
I think I take after you, Mom. I mean, what came first, the chicken or the egg? And I think we solved that on the prior podcast.
Yeah.
We did.
So after my mom's dreams of being a ballerina didn't pan out, she went into the medical field. She became a physician assistant and worked at the ER and then later in orthopedics. But her real dream is in creative arts. And she found it in painting and drawing. And she might not have started out the best, but I can tell you now that she is one of the best, especially in our little town. She has studios, galleries, shows. She does it all. And it's quite impressive considering she's juggling multiple kids and multiple careers.
Well, I think if you can manage and put a hierarchy to the importance of your goals, raising kids was probably the most amazing thing that I ever did. And I think you all taught me as much as I taught you. But then as you didn't need me as much, it left me time to flourish. I mean, I was a little kid that used to draw in class and not pay attention to my math problems. But, then I was able to focus and say, I really, really love this. I really want to do this. And I think that if you have a passion, that really will launch you to succeed in what you want to do. You just have to have that desire and that thirst to do it.
You do, Mom. Definitely one of my role models, and I love you. Do you remember from the last episode what my favorite color is?
Well, I think Brittany's is turquoise.
So you remember hers, but you don't remember mine?
Green.
There it is.
I'm not that old and senile yet. I still remember.
It took you a minute for that recall. What about you, Brittany? Did you have any questions for my mother? I mean, we barely have anyone on the show, and I guess this could count as an interview. Do you have anything for her to answer about me, maybe?
I don't know. I really enjoyed the Roland story and definitely the pancakes. I mean, determination is like in your blood, obviously. And I see where you get it from. I mean, she was determined and had her hand in so many pots, but was still able to achieve so much. And that's brilliant. And obviously, she did a great job of raising you. And she's an amazing artist. I actually have some of her artwork in my home. So I could say that much. I mean, as far as questions, I'm not certain. Where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Maryland, Gaithersburg, Maryland, small town. But Brittany, I remember when you came into Nicole's life, I thought you were just this sweet little quiet girl and I was just picking you up for one of the school dances. I said, oh, isn't she sweet? Then I saw the real you. I said, this girl is hilarious. How come I didn't remember her like this? She's just sweet, quiet in the back.
My mom told me, she's like, hey, if anyone's parent is giving you a ride, you better sit down and be quiet. And I did. I knew. But then whenever I got my own car, I was like, it's my time to shine, baby. The real me can debut.
Yeah, and plus I think Brittany was secretly on punishment and shouldn't have been at that dance. So I think she was just trying to keep closed lips so like no one said anything about her in general. So that part.
That part indeed.
All
right, Mom, did you have any other thing you wanted to add?
Well, as your beautiful angel grows up, the story about was it your 16th birthday party?
Uh-oh.
That you had when I was at work?
Oh.
I mean, do you want to continue? I think people are intrigued.
Well, I thought, that sounded sweet. I had to work, and you said, "Mom, I want some friends over for it's my birthday. It's my sweet 16 birthday, and I want my friends over. Can we just have a sleepover? And when you come home, we'll just go into another room." So little did I know, I walked in the house and everybody was acting strange. There were girls that were just sitting there looking at me, and the brother and the sister were looking at each other, and they kept it down low. They did not snitch you out. I really understood what was going on when I went to clean in your room. And I was looking for something, and I found the bar underneath your bed.
It was a box full of liquor, and my mom never cleaned my room, so she was snooping. Don't let her just say that. She was snooping.
Good for her. Good for her.
You have to as a parent.
How about the oregano in the bags?
Uh-oh. She was baking. She was baking more than pancakes, huh? Baking that brain.
The oregano's in, was it real oregano though? Because we might have just put it in. No, it wasn't. Oh, okay. You found that?
You told me it was oregano.
And what did you think?
I'm going like, I don't think I buy that.
I didn't recall that you found a stash of that. Well, Donna, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure. And next up, we've got Brittany's mom.
Thank you so much for joining the show, Donna. We really appreciate it. Next up is my mom, the beautiful and talented Sharon Marie. I thank her so much for bringing me into the world. I'm forever grateful and forever indebted. But why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about you, where you're from, and some of your interests, which I know is pretty much your family, but go on ahead and tell us anyway.
Okay, I'm from Wheaton, Maryland. I was born in 1961. I was the middle child of three, older sister, younger brother, and I've retired from the federal government after 43 years, if you can imagine. My interests are basically my three beautiful daughters, Brittany, Ariana, and Savannah, and my four wonderful grandchildren, Blaze, Finley, Kennedy, and Noelle. And the younger two little girls I get to watch now that I'm retired on the regular. So that's been a lot of fun for me, particularly with Kennedy, because Noelle's just 3 months old, so she's a baby. But we do a lot of fun playing and exploring. And this morning I took her to music class, and it's just a joyful time to see all the little children and their parents or grandparents playing the musical instruments and singing the songs and dancing. So it's been a different chapter, but a lot of fun. So, and of course, let me say, when I love interior decorating. So I got a new condo a few years back, and it's 2 levels, 2.5 baths, and I've had big fun getting all that together. And I love to go to the pool and the beach, and I love fashion. It's an addiction. an obscene amount of clothes. It's just given that I go nowhere. What can I say? I love clothes. I love red wine and white wine too. If we're telling the truth.
Hey,
all wine.
Listen, it's summertime. We got to give some love to the white wine. So salute to Chardonnay and Pinot Grigio.
Rosé.
No, but that's awesome.
Yes.
Thank you so much for letting us know a little bit about yourself and your passions. Of course, one of them being me. I appreciate that very much. But yeah, speaking of me, do you have any kind of like short, simple, fun stories about myself when I was a kid?
Oh, of my 3 daughters, Brittany, my oldest, I have the most stories about Brittany. Brittany has a very big personality, and everybody remembers Brittany. Nobody forgets her. People literally have a sister named Brittany, and when you say Brittany, they think of my daughter instead of their own sister. It's crazy. But she talked at a very young age, and like big words that I didn't even know myself. It's like, where did you hear that? How do you know that? But I guess I had a 4-year infertility journey. And so I used to call Brittany my miracle. Still do. on the down low. But her first confession.
Oh, gosh.
So the girls were raised Catholic and had the sacraments. So her first communion, got her beautiful dress and veil, little white gloves, the whole 9. And in order to make your first Holy Communion, you had to go into confession. And so you're 7 years old. What kind of sins do you have? Nothing. I stole my little sister's cupcake. I mean, hard to say. But all the little children lined up to get into the confessional to tell the priest that they told a lie or they hit somebody or whatever. Brittany has like a complete and total meltdown, like a 2-year-old, even though she's 7. She's in the pew. Like she's killed somebody. Like the sin is huge. It's too huge to actually confess to the priest. So she is wailing and rolling around. And I mean, by wailing, it was like an animal that was dying. This is the sound. And everybody is looking at me and staring. And I'm just like thinking in my head, oh my gosh, they're not going to let her make her first Holy Communion. I already sent out invitations to the family and friends. We're having a party, ordered the cake. Oh no. And she's like writhing, and everyone is looking at me like, give me the hairy eyeball. Like, huh? What is wrong with your daughter? So finally, I'm like, you're not going to be able to wear the white dress and have the big party if you don't go tell your sins to the priest. So you should probably get in line. And so she does. And she gets in line, and there's still a lot of tears, a lot of emotion. She finally gets to the front of the line. She goes in, is talking with the priest. You hear the priest laughing. You hear Brittany roaring in laughter, all this giggling, all this. She's in there 3 times as long as any other child. When she finally emerges from the confessional, she looks at me and she says, do you think I could get in line again and do it over? That was really fun. That was great. I was just like, I'm losing my mind here. No, we have to go home. But
wow, I'm so sorry about
what was
that.
the confession?
I confess my current sins, and that was a bad one. I'm so sorry.
What was the confession about?
It's private.
I have no idea.
I was sitting here. I thought we were going to get that. And I was like, what was the confession? I have to know.
Nope. The climax was my mom was like, I'm in store, and just mentally prepared herself for the next, however long. She's still preparing herself. Who knows with this one?
Oh my God.
God bless her. You see what a warrior she is? She is beauty. She is grace. She's a warrior with painted face, Bo. Remember that.
Brittany's my biggest fan. Don't believe a word of it.
No, it's all true.
I have another good story. My two older girls, Brittany and Ariana, were in a Christmas pageant through the church. They did a thing and they were angels. And so they had their little halos and they had their white garments. And my girls were pretty tall compared to other kids their age. So they were on the back riser at the Christmas pageant. So Brittany, being the outspoken person she is, goes up to the pageant leader and she says to the lady that she and her sister need to be in the front row. And the pageant leader is like, well, I don't think so, sweetheart. You know, you're tall. You got to be in the back. That's just the way it works because we need to see everybody's face. And Brittany's like, well, no. My grandparents are coming a long way. They're out of town. So we need to be in the front where we can be seen. And to her credit, the pageant leader was like, oh, they're from out of state? Where are they from, honey? Because we were in Burtonsville at the time. And she's like, they're from Wheaton, Maryland. And she said, Wheaton? Okay. That's a 40-minute drive. So you got to be in the back, sweetie. That's where you got to be. So Brittany and her sister were in the back riser. And then all of a sudden, they start up with the music, the Christmas holiday songs. And here comes Brittany. She takes her sister's hand and they start snaking their way down to the end of the riser. And then they jump down to the next riser. And then they're snaking their way in front of each kid. And then they go to the next riser and they're going until she and her sister Ariana are front and center for this pageant. And the whole time I'm like, as soon as it was over, she jumped down and said, I told you I'd get to the front row. I said, how did you know they weren't going to stop you and pull you off the stage? I just knew.
Oh my God, so hilarious. Wow. Brittany's a star.
She is. We could go on and on with Brittany antics.
Tell us one of those antics that sits still to this day. Like, what memory do you have of her being extra naughty?
Oh, that you couldn't broadcast that.
Ew, my mom did. I was like, Mom.
Yes, she did. Spilled the beans.
The tea is staying with the Fab Four. That's me and my three daughters.
Good, tight lips.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, no, it would be too much for your listeners. I assure you.
Maybe next year, y'all. If you stay with us for an additional year, you may get some tidbits about me and my wild antics as a youth. Do you recall, Mom, whenever we all went to, what was it? I guess it was freshman year homecoming, and it was myself, Ashley, Rachel, and of course Nicole, and you had us doing different poses. We were in front of the china cabinet, then we were on top of the table, then we were on the floor. Like,
yeah. I love photography. Actually, my grandson did a little, he calls me Woa. He's like, so Blaze is like, Woa, let's do selfies. Let's have a dance off.
Thank you.
Why not?
So in another lifetime, I would have been a famous photographer for Vogue.
Nice.
But sadly, that didn't happen for me. But yeah, I do remember that. As a matter of fact, I separated out some photographs, and there are those exact pictures that are coming your way, Brittany.
So this has been great, Sharon. Is there anything else that you can share with us today? I mean, it's Mother's Day. This is your day.
Yes, Mother's Day weekend.
Words of wisdom, maybe.
Words of wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
I always wanted to be a mother. I was literally in kindergarten myself at 5 years old, and the teacher went around the classroom and she asked each of us what we wanted to be when we grew up. And little boys, firemen, policemen, little girls, nurse, teacher. They get to me. I said, I want to be a mommy. And all the kids started laughing at me, and I teared up. And the teacher was like, that's a wonderful profession. Good for you, Sharon. And at the time I was mortified. And I was like, note to self, change answer on, on profession. But I truly feel in my heart of hearts that children are a miracle. There's nothing like it. My 3 girls and their wedding days, just such happiness and joy. And all the friends and family that they bring into your life. It's just so wonderful to see my 3 girls prospering and doing great things in the world and being loving and kind. And they're the sticky stuff where you have to get on them when they're being rude, and they're with the cool girl group now, and you have to just reel them in. You need to behave. That's not what I taught you. That's not nice. But there's just such joy in getting together with them and their little families. And it's scary to have kids. It can be a little frightening, but
Sure.
In the end of the day, it's just, it's a miracle and it's wonderful. So I would wish everyone out there, all your little followers, happy Mother's Day. A couple of the ladies from my church that go to the music class that we go to were asking me about it, and I think they're going to join up. Shout out to Molly and Katie. Yes. Any happy Mother's Day to your mom, Nicole, and to you yourself. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you so much, Sharon. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you, Mom. Love you so much. To wrap up the end of this podcast, we wanted to give a very, very happy birthday to Sir David Attenborough. He is 1 year away from being a century old, and he is a remarkable English broadcaster, biologist, writer, and natural historian. You've definitely heard his voice before on Planet Earth as he narrates it, and he's just an all-around remarkable guy, not only in age, but in his talents. So we're going to wish him a very happy birthday.
Yes, and thanks for tuning in for another episode. We'll catch you soon.
Take care till next time.